From sunny Southern California, we bring you Meet Bridget.
Bring it on, baby.
Joanna Young is a passionate esthetician, educator, and the founder of Joanna Young Skin in Newport Beach. She's known for her elevated yet grounded approach, delivering facials that nourish the skin and the nervous system. Joanna, we're so happy to have you here today in our studio. I had the treat of experiencing one of your facials. And when I say that I went to another planet, I'm not kidding.
Oh,
Your hands are like angel wings. And I walked out. I think I went home and looked at my husband and I'm like, I've had the best day. So I'm thrilled to have you here in the Newport Beach community. Everyone knows your name and wants to get in on your schedule. So this is just such a treat.
That's
and I
really
hope we can
special.
kind of give an inside look at
thank you.
where you've come from and how you've gotten to this place today. So what would you say with all your clients, you've been in this space for a while now, is there one takeaway that you want your clients to have from an experience with you, if you had to narrow it down?
I would say relaxed and cared for.
Hmm. How do you feel like, of all the things you do in a facial, what are the main ways that someone gets there?
Well, I have curated a very intentional touch and space. So when you come in and lay down, I start with some essential oils, and that's just to start relaxing your nervous system and your mind. And then I walk you through like relax your mind, relax your eyes, and then I stretch out your neck. So after a day, or even if it's just a morning, it just feels good. And your body's like, okay, I can relax. And then my hands are just enough pressure, not too hard, not too light, to know that I'm here. I've got you. I'm going to care for you for the next, little while. And I feel like during a session, I don't know if I did it in your session, but I like to brush
Aw.
their hair. Time women have had their hair brushed. I mean, we're always taking care of other
Yeah.
people. And then I always tell my staff, you make them a cup of tea. Someone will say, do you want a cup of tea? And they'll be like, no, it's okay. No, make them a cup of tea. Do you know the last time she's had someone make her a cup
Mhm.
of tea or coffee
Right.
without ordering it?
Mhm.
So I really want it to be like, oh my God, someone is taking care of me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my intention.
I think it's so sweet that you mentioned like brushing your hair. One of my like sense memories of childhood is my mom brushing my hair and like just the feeling of her hands in my hair, and that just like that mother's touch
Mm-hmm.
that everyone can just kind of place if they're blessed to have a
Yes.
good motherhood experience. And to this day, every time I go home, I'm like, Mama, can you brush my hair?
Aw.
Yeah. And I've really taken time and intention, and even the way like I
Yeah.
have my two daughters that are 3 and 5, and just even always, it's not always as pleasant to brush their hair because there's all sorts of goop in it, but just like that feeling of just having like,
It's nurture.
yeah, it's so
Yeah.
simple, but that's such like an intentional touch, and it shows how much, I mean, people are there for facial, but these little things.
And your daughter doesn't even realize that you're nurturing her.
Mhm.
She's like, Mom, you're brushing my hair.
Right.
But in 10 years,
Yeah.
it'll be
Mhm.
different for her.
That's so special.
I love it. If you had to describe your brand or your approach in 3 words, what would you choose?
I would say I'd like to consider it luxurious, elevated, and intentional.
I think that's spot on.
Mhm.
Can you tell us about, you have this vision and something you're working on called Quiet Beauty. Can you basically paint the picture of what you want Beauty to feel like, to be like for clients? What is your dream and vision
Oh
here?
gosh, I'm so excited. I travel all over the world. My husband and I love cruising. And when we go into spas on a cruise or a hotel, The vibe is so zen and it's
Mhm.
so relaxing, and the smells, I just love it. So when I would come home and I would go back to work into my spa, I'm like, I'm missing something. There's
Mhm.
something missing. And I go for facials in our community to other places. Um, it's just there's something missing. So my vision was to create a hotel spa feel in your neighborhood.
Mhm.
And hopefully I can execute it, but I'm in the process of curating it.
That's
What do you think?
I think it's such a great idea because I think, you know, part of going on vacation, if you have the time or the resources, that's when you go to the spa. It's like, oh, I'll get a massage because I'm on
Mhm.
vacation, but to be able to, I think a lot of women and even young girls,
Mhm,
speaking to our community, are really getting behind skincare and the importance of maintenance of skin.
mhm,
So to be able to go get that regular facial, but have it be a little mini vacation, even if it's just,
uh-huh,
the 1 hour, 2 hours, if you're lucky, of your day that you can like step out to make it kind of mimic that
Yeah.
you're on
mhm.
vacation, you're walking in, even if it's, something just in your neighborhood that you're
Yeah,
doing more often than a vacation.
Just to give yourself a little like self-love time
Yeah.
too. I mean,
right.
it's so hard. Life gets so busy just
Mhm,
to take a deep breath. I love the vision of you just caring for somebody completely. Like, the whole thing of making somebody a cup of tea without them even having to ask. Like I can't even think of the last time that's happened.
right?
Yeah.
I really
So
want that
special.
to be noticed, like,
Mhm.
when they receive it,
Hmm.
and hopefully, I mean, we have a monthly membership and people come
Mhm.
every month. And I try to elevate their experience differently every single time so they feel special.
Yeah.
It's just not, I'm going in for my
Mhm.
facial. Like, I want it to be, it's something they're really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Because sometimes going for our beauty treatments right now are a have to, not a get to.
Yeah. For
Yeah. Well, and I
sure.
think also, maybe it's just the day and age we live in right now, but it's like we're obsessed with productivity. So we can turn even something like skincare that is inherently nurturing and
Mhm.
calming. You can turn it into like, oh, I got to do my red light mask for 6 minutes and then I'm going to get on the vibration plate and like, all these things. And it's like becomes another thing that we have to do to keep up with XYZ,
Yeah.
Sure.
where it's like, I asked you during my facial, I said, do you have a product line or are you going that direction? And I loved your response because you said, you're like, I love the touch. I love
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
be here
Yeah.
doing facials, being with people and having that face-to-face experience. And I thought that was so refreshing because your answer was instant. It wasn't like, maybe I'll do that. It was like, no, I
Mhm.
know myself and I know
Mhm.
this is what I want to do.
Mhm.
And I think in a world where even our mission,
Mhm.
we've realized just the importance of in person
Yeah.
and analog experiences and sitting
Mhm.
with someone
Mhm.
and laughing with someone and crying with someone and
Mhm.
how just essential that is.
Yeah. I
Oh, yeah.
I love when I was younger, when I was graduating from school
Mhm.
and didn't know what I wanted to do, my mom, I guess somehow how instinctively said, "You should go to massage school." And I
Mhm.
said, "Okay." So I kind of played with it. I thought, I'm not touching people. You're
Yeah.
crazy. No way. And then I went into finance. And many years later, I found myself back into looking to touch people.
It's so interesting that maternal instinct that you were kind of touching on with the brushing of the hair and everything, and
Uh-huh.
then your mom kind of having that thread. I am so excited to get into that. I would also love, before we dive into your formative experiences, I would really love to kind of get into what a day in the life is like for you. Like, walk us through like the most challenging parts of your job or your favorite parts of your job. Like, tell us a little bit more about that.
I would say the prep, the prep of being consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ideally, I want my staff to greet you with a cup of tea,
Yeah.
but in the run of the things, it doesn't always happen.
Mm-hmm.
So being consistent, preparing, and then the transition of each client, not only just changing the sheets and making up the room, but shifting the energy in that
Mm-hmm.
room
Oh, that's
because
such a good
you
point.
just
Yeah.
had somebody's energy in there, and you have to shift it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to shift yourself. I I foam roll in the morning and at night because my body is like torqued and
Mm-hmm.
positioned just to like make sure that I'm giving my clients the best experience. And so yeah, the hands-on, the changing of the clientele and the consistency
Yeah. Yeah.
is
That's such a
challenging.
great point. The preparation you have to put into it, just even for the energy transfer back and forth. I imagine it goes both ways, right? Like you are preparing yourself to present your client with the best version of yourself. And then you're also like opening the door for their energy to come in and affect you. And then maybe the client after them. So that takes a lot of preparation and routine. When you think about your day to day in business and with your staff, can you talk about some of the things that are really important to you, like the preparation, um, or conversely, things that you make sure to prevent from happening in your business or your day to day?
I would say to be prepared.
Mhm.
Be early, and so you have time to be calm. I tell my staff there's no part of our business of running in here
Mhm.
at like if you have an 11 o'clock client and you come in at 5 to 11, you're not setting yourself up for a win.
Mhm.
But I think that reflects any position and anywhere in your life. And then if you want to be calm for the rest of the day, you're still going to be in that frazzled state.
Yeah.
When people can't find my location, I tell my clients if they're lost, they're frustrated, they're rushing.
Mhm.
If they're late, the last thing we need to do is rush them.
Mhm.
So just being early on time
Yeah.
and prepared.
Such a good tip. In your mind, who would you say would be like the right fit for this type of role? Like, what kind of qualities do you imagine really make a person successful doing what you do?
I definitely think you want to be a nurturer.
Mhm.
And if you don't know what a nurturer is do you like to make breakfast for your family or your
Mhm.
friends, or have you made supper? When I interview someone, I ask them, do you make supper for your family?
Mhm.
Do you do laundry for your family? Like, do you help out? These are like nurturing things that people don't realize.
Mhm.
If you don't do laundry and you don't cook, you're probably not going to be a good fit in my environment. I really try to have my staff nurture one another.
Mhm.
So I will make tea for the girls, or I'll say I'd like a cup of tea, and they'll go make me a cup of tea, and
Mhm.
knowing how each one another likes it.
Mhm.
So you have to know, like when each client comes in, what they like.
Mhm.
Um, I used to play country music. I love it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but I had a client that hated country music.
Mm.
And this is before I really got into my luxury niche.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so when she came in, as soon as I saw her, I said, shoot, I have to go change music. So you have to know
Yeah.
what people like. Now I have changed the music. So it's just a spa music.
It's so brilliant though, just really, and it's so simple too. It's simple, but it's brilliant. Like the idea of asking somebody what they do for their own family and their own life. And then, because it's really a transferable skill,
Yeah.
which is pretty incredible. I love that you do that for your employees.
In this generation, like I don't know if it's the helicopter parent or
Hmm.
what the term is, but you're doing your children no justice of like taking care of everything, like all
Hmm.
their needs. Like make them learn to clean the bathroom, do their
Yeah.
laundry, um, and it's going to transfer in their adult life.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's this old adage. I think it's the way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Yeah.
I think it's what you're describing
Right.
really,
Yeah.
where and I think that's even useful for a young woman or a woman in a career transition when they're thinking about, okay, I want to do something different. I need to pursue another opportunity. Take a look at, okay, how are you showing up in the rest of your life? Maybe there are some shifts where you're showing up in the rest of your life before you can get to this place you want to go.
Exactly.
Or maybe there's opportunity somewhere that you're already doing, and something that's already part of your life. And maybe you already are a nurturer. So that transferable little seed that's always been a part of you and who you are is actually where you should pursue the opportunity in the first place.
For sure.
And I feel like you're
Definitely.
really a testament to that.
Yeah. I love hosting. And I love the touch. I love just reaching out and touching someone. Touch is so important. I say we need 5 touches a day, 5 hugs or
God,
5.
especially now.
Right?
I'm like, just don't. I do the thing like the Disney princesses do with my kids, where it's like when you hug, especially a child, you don't let go of the hug until they let go of the hug. Like you let them end the hug. That's all the Disney characters in Disneyland do this, where that's their rule. Like if a child's still hanging on, you stand there as long as the child is done with the hug. And I'm like, I think everyone kind of needs that energy where it's like, I'm here. I'll keep hugging you until you think it's weird. But it changes your whole whole experience.
We need that like physical touch and pressure to like ground us. It's so essential. I mean,
in terms of, for someone that was really interested in your career path or what you're doing currently, for the logistics, what are the types of things you need to do to get certification, training, that kind of thing? Can you lay it out for someone that had no idea about aesthetics?
Yes, there's so many different aesthetic schools that you can go to. You can do it full-time, part-time. I recommend doing the colleges. They're the most affordable, but you do have to do full-time, I believe. And just get it done. It takes about 6 months.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's intense. When I went from my finance job to school, I could take lunch. You could go to the bathroom. You could grab a coffee. It was just really, I didn't realize how regular it was, like normal. But then when you're in school, I went to a college, and then you are in at 8 and you are just go. There's no time for a bathroom. And then you get 30 minutes to eat. There's no going to the bank.
Yeah.
Or the dry cleaners.
Or the dentist.
No.
Like all those things.
Right?
Like, so when do I do that stuff?
Right. Yeah. For the 6 months, make sure you have your dental in, your physical in, because you're Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And then I think I got out of school at like 4:30.
Oh my
But
god.
But then after that, I was still building my own little business. So I would go to work and do spray tanning and lashes and brows, which I was doing before I was licensed.
Just burning the candle on both ends.
Yeah.
But making it work. I mean,
Yes.
sometimes that's what you have to do. You just get started and you go in a direction.
I feel like sometimes anything that takes a certification, people get a little bit like, oh, I have to get that first before I can start or even feel this out for myself. And it's like, yeah, don't do anything illegal, but even us with podcasting, when we started the podcast in the pandemic, we didn't go hire a podcast manager or get a studio. We figured out an editing software. We started recording ourselves and listening to other podcasts, and we just started making stuff. And I think that even what you're saying, I've listened to another podcast that you did, and you were talking about how you originally kind of got back into it, aesthetics was because one of your friends had skin cancer.
Exactly.
And that you got really interested in skin cancer, prevention of skin cancer.
Yes.
And it kind of just unfolded in front of you. Can you share a little bit about that like discovery process of this career for you, like that moment where the ball started rolling?
I remember when my girlfriend told me she had skin cancer, and in the beginning we thought, oh, nothing, it's something on her back. She's going to have it removed. Fine. And probably about 6 months into this, then it had metastasized into somewhere else in her body. And then I was like, this is serious. So she was going to sunbeds, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start spray tanning you. And I found something online, And actually, I still have that little compressor. It's actually a makeup compressor, which I was spray tanning her in my garage with.
Like an airbrusher?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It
You're
was
such a
a long process, this little tiny container. But we made it happen. Her tans were beautiful.
Mhm.
She looked great. And then I just thought about what was her body missing? Like,
Mhm.
how can we be preventative? And then I went down the deep dive of learning about, what we put on our
Yeah.
body physically
Mhm.
and what we put in our body
Mhm.
physically. Had a lot to do with her diet.
Yeah.
And then makeups that have microplastics, which
Mhm.
so much does.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get away from it.
Mhm.
I've just brought on this new lip line and it's all microplastic free.
I love that.
So amazing.
Especially your lips. It's such like a
Mhm.
I know. It's so close to a
yeah.
Mouth.
mucous membrane that like
Yeah.
that's where you ingest everything.
Yes.
What I love about your story with your friend is that instead of being like, you can't go to the tanning beds, you're going to change your life, you with that nurturing gene,
Mhm.
saw that this is a need she has to want to feel tan, and that gives her confidence. And instead of being like, let's take that away because I have to fix her, you're like, what's another way we could accomplish this need and have you still feeling great, but also support a better lifestyle? And I feel like that from friends that I know that see you on a regular basis, that's kind of the takeaway, that it's like you're supportive and you do lead the charge because you have a lot of knowledge and you do kind of like direct what the skincare needs because you're the expert, but you do it in a way that supports, where people are and what their values are.
Mm-hmm.
I love.
I'd love to, we are a community that really is about confidence. It's at the center of everything we do. We're in this teenage confidence crisis. Everybody knows about it, the effects of social media. I feel like everyone's listened to those data points and then everyone is like, so what do we do? So don't give them phones.
There's
but
no right answer.
Yeah, there's no antidote either that's
Yeah.
kind of going on. So we like to be really explicit about, confidence. And I'd love to hear, in your current life, what does confidence look like for you? How often is it showing up? What is it usually tied to when you're feeling confident?
It took a long time. It was definitely, I was not a confident child. I wasn't a confident young adult. And it, I just had a conversation this morning with a girlfriend about confidence. And really, I think once I leaned really deep into skincare ingredients and got really confident about my career, that's when it just happened naturally. Um, I don't want to get hung up on the social media. I do have social media and I do like to doom scroll for fun, but I don't compare myself anymore to any of my peers. I love their wins and I love learning new things on Instagram. But when I feel like life is getting busy, or I don't know if it would be like an inconfident moment, I turn to Audible. I listen to books.
Oh, I
I
love
do the
that.
same thing. I'm like,
Yes.
I'll take a break from even listening to, we love to listen to other
Mhm.
podcasts to kind of see what's happening in the space. But sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna turn everything off and I want to go all the way into a book.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
get cozy in there.
Yeah. Turn off the information
Yeah.
overload.
And it's such like a
Yeah.
nice little through line to keep returning to when, especially when I'm feeling kind of overstimulated. I
Yeah.
didn't even realize like that is something
Yeah.
I've actually been doing a lot of lately. Like at the holidays and everything.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Mhm.
mommy needs a minute.
Right?
Or
Well, I
like
think the
35.
thing too that I've always loved about books, I think we're all big readers in here, is that it gives you an opportunity to empathize outside of like your regular life.
Totally.
So you're not just, like you said, you're not just scrolling or comparing yourself to somebody. You're actually like listening to how characters process emotions or difficult situations or like the conflict arc. And you don't have to be a part of it, but you can still kind of like down regulate. And I just love that.
It's like the original doom scrolling.
Yes.
You can be like a voyeur and have kind of like a passive involvement with something, which is really, I think, what we're looking for when you're like, I just want to turn off for a little bit and just
Sure.
scroll. It's like we sort of just want to be a passenger,
Mhm.
but then we don't realize like, okay, you're seeing like 1,000 images per second or whatever
I
they
know.
say. And it's like,
Yeah.
your brain is like, this is not helping,
Yeah.
you know?
I know.
But it's nice to kind of have these other,
Yeah.
little levers to pull. You also, so you told yourself at one point, one day I'll own my own spa.
I don't even remember saying that.
Really?
My
You spoke it
girlfriend,
into the universe.
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, I remember we were walking and you said, oh yeah, one day I will own a day spa." And she says that she reminds me all the time. She goes, "Look, you have your own space now." And I said, "I don't even remember saying that to you, but our subconscious is so powerful."
Oh, yeah.
And then, back to the audible, like what you can put in your brain,
Mhm.
it's so easy.
Yeah.
I think when young people get caught up in this drama or also the rejection when you're in high school or even
Mm.
junior high, that I recommend them a good book. So there's a couple of books when I have young clients and they come in and they tell me that the drama that's going on,
Mhm.
I say, I have a couple of books I'm going to recommend. And then when you think that you are going somewhere or you're at home at night by yourself and you think you need to call your friend and catch up on the drama, just listen to this book.
Yeah.
And it does. It takes you to another world,
Mhm.
takes you out of the drama.
Mhm.
You're not feeding the drama. You're not part of the drama.
Mhm.
And you can really put positive stuff in your mind.
These are such gems that
Right?
I'm going to enact in
I'm
my
like,
own
what are
life.
the
Like
books?
the tea, the books. Just, I love it.
Right? Get the real tea, not
Yes.
the crazy tea.
Yes.
Mhm.
Do you have are the books in your head that we could link?
I'll let you know and you can
Okay, if
link
you can link
them.
them or any that like common ones that come up.
Yes, there's a couple for some young women that I think The Most Powerful Woman in the Room.
Hmm.
Have you read it?
No.
No.
It's about a young girl who wanted to be when you're on a podium and you're auctioneer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And she wanted to do that for a big auction house and how she went about it. But for a high schooler, when you're applying to colleges, I think there's some gems in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Ooh,
Yeah. I
good
like
one.
that.
We'll
It's a
link
good
it.
read.
We'll link it.
And I'll let you know other ones.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I love that. Speaking of teen years and recommending books to your younger clients, we really want to dive into some of your formative experiences because I have a feeling, we do have a theory here, that a lot of the things that we experience as adults, our successes now, are really tied to assets and things that we developed as teens and as young adults. So I'd love to get into that. When you think about yourself just as a human being and a person, what would you say some of your core personality traits are?
Staying calm.
I can see that.
I even feel like I was kind of
Yeah.
passively thinking, I'm like, wow, the energy in here is very zen.
Yeah.
I'm like, is
Sorry.
it sleepy? Because I'm like, I feel dreamy.
No, it does. It
Sometimes
feels
I
like
consider
dream state.
myself kind of boring because
No,
I'm
it's
so calm.
necessary. It's wonderful.
I think it's such a great contrast to the day-to-day that we live in. And I think it's so necessary and likely the reason you're so successful at what you do. Um, what was it like? Like, did you see yourself getting into skincare as a young teen? Like, I know you talked a little bit about going into finance originally, but I'd love for you to like paint the picture a little bit about who you were as a teen or a young adult before you kind of started stepping into your adult professional careers.
So when I was young, I actually was in hospitality.
Mm.
I worked for a hotel. I was a waitress in the restaurant. And then I also started taking some cooking classes. And my mom was always kind of pushing me into like something I would do with my hands.
Mhm.
I took sewing lessons, cooking classes. So I think outside, I mean, I would love to have this conversation with her and say, like, what were you looking at? Were you
Yeah.
like, she's gonna need like some, I would say, domestic goddess skills. She's gonna need to be a great wife one day. I don't know. I would say, yeah, I was a typical teenager, but not we grew up really, less fortunate. And So no, there was no mani-pedi
Yeah.
facials, none of that. And then as I remember I moved from Newfoundland to Vancouver,
Mhm.
BC, and walking into a department store, and I want to say the brand was Christian Dior.
Mhm.
And I walked up, and the bot packaging looked amazing and
Mhm.
fancy, and the gal started talking to me like I was a human being.
Mhm.
Because when you're young, some people don't talk to you as
Yeah.
a human being.
Mhm.
And she was like, "Oh, let me show you. Let me demo this on you." And I was like, "Oh my God." And I probably couldn't afford it, but I'm like, "I'll take it."
Yeah.
It made me feel good.
They touch your hand and like they put it so gently
Yeah.
on
Mhm.
your hand and you're like, "Wow. Yeah, I do love that." Is it the product or is it just the way you're
The
touching me?
experience of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, because it feels very
But
fancy." Like,
and then she invited me in because in the little kiosk
Yeah.
at this station in the
mhm.
department store, they had this little room,
Mm.
and there was a bed in there, and you
Mhm.
could go in, lay down, and she'd give you a facial. She'd come back next week. I'm going to give you a facial. And I was like, okay, I'll be here. So
Yeah.
I go back the next week, and I get my first facial,
Oh my
Mm.
gosh.
and I was I was I
You
was
were
hooked.
hooked.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is amazing. This
Yeah.
this felt good. And I really love the glow and the skin
Mhm.
health. And it did give me confidence.
Yeah.
Um, and whether you're struggling with acne or a weight problem, all these things that when you're young you could have insecurities about, but when you feel good about your skincare routine,
Yeah.
it adds a little pep in your step.
Yeah.
I
I
so
love
agree
how
with
you
that.
talk about this evolution of just like discovering skincare via this one experience and how it kind of like helped you evolve your almost like your idea of self-image and everything. Can you speak to that a little bit more? Like, do you feel like those little glimmers of confidence came out in little
Mhm.
situations like that?
Definitely. I look back now as I'm curating this
Mhm.
new brand, and it's a little bit of every part of me that's come to here.
Mhm.
Maybe the girl that worked in hospitality, and maybe the girl that experienced that like first luxury skincare, and then to um working in finance was just something daunting that didn't speak to me, but I
Yeah.
had to do for a paycheck. And then realizing that when my girlfriend got skin cancer, I didn't do it for any other reason but to nurture her. Like I
Mhm.
didn't think of, oh, you know, step one, step two. It was just
Right.
like, okay, I'm gonna look online. Thank God for the internet. I'm gonna order this machine. I'm gonna
Yeah.
start spray tanning you. And it just it doesn't really, I don't really like overthink it,
Mhm.
but all of those little areas in my life built up to
Mhm.
who I am today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's so interesting that, you mentioned that you were a commodities trader, sorry, working in finance. A lot of
Uh-huh.
people are like, what does that even mean? But it's a financial job.
Yeah.
And that it was something you kind of did for a paycheck. I had like a similar experience I worked in investment management for a little while, in my 20s. And it was something I even told myself. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a big girl job and my family's gonna be so excited. I'm gonna make a lot of money,
Right.
and I went out and it was still like it was a big learning curve and
Mhm.
experience and not necessarily super enjoyable, but like exciting in a
Mhm.
way. And eventually I kind of like burned out and had to shift gears again. And for a little while I thought that time was like a glitch, or I was
Mhm.
like, oh man, that was like a detour. But now that I'm like doing what I'm doing now, I realize that there are elements of that time that were so still perfectly related to what I'm doing
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
where it's like it gives you this layer of
Mhm.
professionalism, consistency, like you said about even that client experience
Yeah.
being consistent. Like in the financial
Showing
world,
up.
everything is
Yeah.
consistent,
Yes.
and you're lining your numbers up and crossing your T's.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because it sounds like you started even young, you had this connection to for using your hands,
Mhm.
nurturing, cooking, making people
Mhm.
feel good, beauty. And then you went kind of, into finance and then you came back. Can you tell us a little bit about when you were in finance, how the through lines were still there?
I I think when I was in finance that I lost a little bit of the creativity and the
Mm.
touch, to be honest.
Mhm.
I had a detour, and it was just for a paycheck. When I went back to school for my aesthetic and quit my job,
Mhm.
I took a huge pay cut, but it was going to be worth every dollar I didn't make for the happiness that I was
Yeah.
feeling, the joy that I was feeling. And in the beginning of my career in aesthetics, it was a struggle. Because people think, oh, you worked in finance. No,
Mhm.
I traded precious metals.
Yeah.
I didn't do like build a business
Mhm.
101.
Right. Like there's so many different
So
ways.
it was a struggle, and I am a very like shy person in
Mhm.
general. So I'm not so outgoing where I'm going to be out networking, and I have that if in like infectious like, oh, I need to go to Joanna kind of vibe. So it took some time after that detour from finance to get my nurturing back. And
Mhm.
as soon as I opened up my business, probably about a year in, I met my husband.
Mm.
And I don't think that he would have really loved the finance Joanna,
Mm.
because I
Interesting.
had a lot of masculine energy. And and then now when he met me, I was back into
You're
my
letting your
feminine
return.
energy.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that idea that in life, everyone has two mountains. Like the first mountain is usually like when you're younger and you're starting your career and you establish all of these qualities or you do all of these things kind of like for survival. And
Right.
it's very externally based. It's
Mhm,
like paycheck. It's like,
mhm, mhm,
the acceptance of like your peers or your family. And then the second mountain is kind of like when you make that realization of like, okay, I'm not spiritually aligned. And so I can totally see this for you where like you started to realize that there was something misaligned and like you started moving toward that. But like Asha said, I feel like you really took all of those qualities, like even though it was masculine energy,
mhm,
and used it to climb your second mountain. And like that's when things started to align for you, like your space and meeting your husband and
mhm, for
yeah.
sure.
I feel like, I mean, going back to the social media stuff a little bit, our teens and young adults right now, it's so easy to think that these successful people got on a train and had a linear line
Yeah.
all the way. They were child geniuses and they kept doing the same thing over and over and over, and they just knew. And I think it's so valuable to hear stories like this that aren't necessarily linear and that you didn't just pick the right thing and
Mhm.
stay at it or just keep building little blocks towards one thing, but you had what feels like a detour, but it also served as contrast for you,
Mhm,
right? Like I think that when we worked with younger women, we always emphasize like the power of a mistake or the power of
Mhm.
experiencing what you don't want
mhm.
and how much that can illuminate when the right thing shows up for you or when you bring it into your life. So it's maybe not linear, but there are through lines right through those
Yeah.
alternate
Mhm.
experiences.
And it takes trust in yourself, like
Mhm.
building that quiet confidence. I know you talk about not necessarily feeling like you were a confident child or a confident teen, but I love the idea that one of your super strengths is preparation and like equipping yourself with the knowledge that you need to be an expert in your field. Because for us, I think that's what confidence is. It's not just like something you put on. It's
Right.
really like this muscle that you work over time and, really
Mhm.
curate and adjust to your life.
It's
So,
always evolving.
Mhm.
yeah.
And my new business is still going to evolve.
Mhm.
I take classes every year. I learn new techniques, new products, and then my space, the energy will evolve.
Mhm.
But I think that when I was in school for aesthetics and there was these young girls
Mhm.
in their 20s, and then there was some more mature people in their maybe 30s and 40s,
Mhm.
I would tell the young girls, I'm like, you may not do this forever.
Mm.
Mhm.
This may not be your life job,
Right.
but this is just one thing that you will have. It doesn't have to be set in stone that
Right.
you're right here. You could be 59, 60,
Totally.
62, and you still have a lot more years
Mhm.
to explore another option.
I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's really helpful for especially our young listeners, but really all our listeners, to hear about some of that sticky time of our teenage years or our young childhood years even. Did you have any insecurities, emotionally challenging moments as a child or a teenager?
Yeah. Um, I in high school, I remember I was bullied by
Mm.
these people. I was shy and I was probably a little bit like preppy and nerdy. I wasn't in the cool people. And between classes, I would get like bumped. And so I would tell my mom, and my mom recommended me hold a safety pin. Not good advice.
She's like, let's go into your sewing kit because I've been
Yeah.
teaching you sewing.
Yes. But yeah, it was always awkward.
Mhm.
I didn't find my niche. But yeah, in the hospitality, taking care of people, yes, that was my niche. Then working through finance, it was a struggle. My brain doesn't work that way.
Mhm.
Like learning Mahjong, my brain is slower than most people learning
I
Mahjong.
don't know. We won,
We did.
partner.
And I I don't know. You're gonna feel awkward until you don't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you just have to keep trying. But I feel when you equip yourself with more knowledge, and that's why I love Audible,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
not everyone's a reader.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Audible has been so great.
Mhm.
So if you can find a couple of books, then just keep reading and learning, equipping yourself with more knowledge, I would say is going to help anyone's confidence. Would you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, I think so. Were you always a reader?
No.
Mm.
I would try to read a book,
Mhm.
and throughout my life, I had anticipated, or I had ambition to read a book,
Mhm.
so I'd always have one on my nightstand. But as soon as I would start reading, I'd fall asleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the eye movement.
Yeah.
It's actually such a good hack for
Yeah,
trying to fall
it's the
asleep.
best.
is.
And do it in the dark, and you'll be asleep like half the time. My husband's like,
But I have the
"It's so
same
dark in here."
problem.
Yeah.
I listen to the majority of my books now 'cause
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
especially if you're driving or
Oh
commuting and
my
it's just
gosh.
yeah.
You work with, I mean, even like we've talked about it. I'm like, I get hormonal acne every single month.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And it's usually like one giant unicorn's it. And it can make you feel like it changes. It always happens when I'm already feeling a little iffy, but it can change your whole like approach to your day when you feel like your skin is off. And I'm sure you experience a lot of people coming to you with either a skin problem or young people
Mhm.
where it's like in that hormonal shift, it's like your skin can go absolutely bonkers. Um, how do you handle and relate to? Like, do you feel like you source some of your teen years and your experiences and that vulnerability to relate to people in that skin drama?
Luckily, I didn't have acne when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to do a lot of research,
Mm.
but a lot of it is diet and habit.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And as young women, teens is a whole different thing, the
Yeah.
hormonal thing.
Yeah.
But in women in their 30s and 40s and 50s, I'm going to say it's a huge part of balancing your diet.
Mhm.
And I am a big believer of avocado. I try
Tell
to,
us more.
Yeah.
I try to eat, I try to at least, I try to eat at least a half an avocado a day,
Yeah.
Mhm.
if not a full avocado a day. The just the oils
Fats,
Mhm.
and the
fiber.
fiber. It's such a multi-purpose and it's so yummy
Yeah.
that my skin has been its best when I adapted to the avocado.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I tell
As you're
people,
sitting here glowing.
She's just
Yeah.
glowing.
Hey.
I'm like looking at your eyes, but I'm also like, look at these, like, and where are the pores? I don't see a single one.
Yeah.
But I do think that that's helpful. It's like to know that it could be something as simple as finding a little shift in your diet or
Mhm.
but is it interesting, like when someone, comes to you and maybe they're in like a very vulnerable, the makeup comes off when they're sitting, in
Mhm.
your chair. How do you put people at ease when they're kind of in that state?
Fix their problems.
Yeah. She's like, address
Yes.
it, make it go away.
I had a gal and it was her 40th birthday on Saturday and
Mm.
she came in Thursday and she had a huge pimple hair. She's like, it's growing. And so I'm like, okay, we'll fix it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she sent me a video or a voicemail, but it was gone by
Yeah.
Saturday. Her birthday, she was like, "You are like the skin whisperer."
Yeah.
And I don't like to bulldoze the skin.
Mm-hmm.
So gently. So it's not going to look perfect tomorrow, but I always say in a couple of days, your skin's going to look good
Yeah.
because I've treated it. And now we have to let your skin do the rest.
Cover.
Yeah.
Our bodies want to heal itself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Our food these days has a lot of issues,
Mhm.
and people are creating allergies.
Yeah.
Their gut, their blood, all of these autoimmune things are happening.
Mhm.
So I haven't done it yet, but I'm interested to try it. Do one of these tests where you can see what your body is allergic to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because this is going to cause havoc.
Yeah.
And there's nothing we can do. Living
Yeah.
in the US, it is what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like balancing, okay, the knowledge, but then also not getting so caught up in all these
Yes.
resources that it's like then you're creating
Yeah.
extra stress because it's like I know like
Oh,
the
no
stress. I'm
stress.
like I'll have the holidays and
Mhm.
the drinking, and then it's like okay, and then here is my
Yeah.
flower. You
For
know that
sure.
it's like
A little
it is.
unicorn horn.
Yeah, like it's not rocket science, but you know, we're like balancing kind of the stress or even just acknowledging like, okay, this is a stressful period. So like my skin might
Yeah.
show that. So I should schedule my facial or drink a little
Mhm.
extra water this month or, you know, just make those little shifts
Mhm.
to
Sometimes I think
Yeah.
people try to over exfoliate.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Too much exfoliating. And that's why I love the oil cleanser that I gave
Mhm.
you. It's my holy grail in cleaning your skin because you're not stripping it.
Mhm.
But then there are times you can do a little extra exfoliation once a week, but not
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
You
Such a
can
good
treat it
point.
like that.
I tend to be one of those people that's like all or nothing, you know? And
Of
so
course.
I would be the over
Yeah.
exfoliator. But it's so true. Like as I've gotten older, like you start to learn the beauty of like what you're touting, where like skincare isn't just skin, it's systemic. It's about
Right.
diet. It's about what's on the inside
Mhm.
first. And then like the whole experience of it. I mean, I think it's so brilliant how you have created basically like this very unique model of skincare and like your own like theories about it and about like, you know, the quiet luxury and what that looks like. And then it's not just like the products themselves,
Mhm.
but it's the whole system,
Mhm.
right? Like it's like getting it right from the inside out.
Mhm.
And then, you know, the luxury is not just the luxury item, it's the experience that
Yes.
you create for your clients. I would love to talk more about quiet beauty and how you envision that and, you know, what your mission is for that.
I came to the table to my husband and said, I really want to create this hotel vibe in the
Mhm.
neighborhood. Can I do this? I want to create a fun kind of almost shopping experience too. Cause when you
Mhm.
go into the hotel spa and they have like a little bit of fun,
Yes.
everything, and you want to get this like headband or the clip or the whatever they
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
Always
and
like
it's
the
Candle or
cutest, like the
something.
cheapest, like you
Yeah.
couldn't find it anywhere
Right.
else. Kind
Yeah,
of
and like
thing.
the fact that you bought it there is like you associate that thing with like a little luxury,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
Like this is excessive. I
Yes.
bought it anyways. You know, and it's a hair clip, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, and then I have a girlfriend who's an interior designer, and I said, "Can you help me curate this?" And she was like, "Oh, I'd love to."
Mhm.
So it took us a while, probably almost a year, to find a space. And once we found the space, then we kind of went on a vibe of what this building is offering
Mhm.
Mhm.
and went from there. So we're trying to stay organic and luxury.
Mhm.
So it's a fine line. And I'm going to be the touch and the curating of the skincare, and I'm leaving it up to the construction team and the interior designer team to give us that look and feel.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
So you're basically the soul, the spirit of
yes,
Yes. Yeah.
it.
I was
She's
the
the heartbeat.
You're
idea.
the
Yes.
inside that
Yeah.
comes out.
Uh-huh.
I love it. The inspiration.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I have two final questions for you as we wrap this up, although I feel like we could just sit here and
Yeah.
talk skincare and life all day. First of all, when you think about your teen years, just
Mhm.
return to that, um, What is a sensory memory that comes to mind and stands out the most? Try to think about the sound, the place, texture, smell. What jumps out to you when you put yourself back in your teen years?
Mm. I would say my funnest memories are probably like we had these Lions clubs or recreation clubs in the community, and they would have dances on Friday night.
Oh, I love it.
I love it.
Yeah, those are like my funnest memories.
What would you wear? What kind of
Exactly.
music was playing?
Gosh, like Billy Idol,
hmm
Madonna, Cyndi Lauper.
So
Were
fun.
you doing your makeup?
Was I wearing makeup then? I don't think so.
Yeah, just clean,
Yeah, I think I was clean.
right?
Yeah.
I love that.
The original.
Yeah, I don't think I wore a lot of
Sweet.
makeup as a
Yeah.
teenager.
God, the idea of like a teen dance is so nostalgic.
Right?
Just like that just brought me back.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we always wrap up our interviews with the same question. What is a quality or personality trait that you had as a teen that maybe you weren't proud of or didn't love back then
hmm
that you embrace and cherish in yourself now?
I would say I was emotional.
Mm.
Yeah. I think my whole family would say, "Oh my God, Joanna's so emotional." That, and now I embrace it.
Mhm.
Right? If you know you need a good cry, you need a good cry.
Yeah. That's how we connect.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
unhealthy to keep it
Yeah.
in. Creates like stagnancy in the body.
I feel so blessed that I have such a nice life, very little drama,
Mhm.
very calm, and my home life, work life is so amazing. But I'll call my husband sometimes and I'm like, I need a good cry. And he'll find a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
It's like, here you go.
Oh, that's so supportive. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like it's happening.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a good cry
And he's
or
like,
a
I
good
got
audible.
you.
And I've had a couple audibles. I'm gonna have to share them with you. That
Yes.
Yeah.
I was sobbing. And I'm
Yes.
like,
Have you
wow.
seen Hope Floats?
No, wait, are you at the little Disney?
No.
No, it's an
there's
old
a-
movie.
It's an old
Okay,
movie.
never mind.
Who's in it? Is it
There's something called Float.
No.
Who is it?
Who is in
I feel like it was always on TV and it would
Yeah.
kind of like play
Is
late
it-
or like play a few times in a row.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Is it not Sandra Bullock? No.
One of
No.
those,
Yeah.
though.
But boy, you will cry and cry. It's such a heartfelt movie. So cute. It's very mystical, magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you just got to have one of those in your arsenal where
You
you're like,
Yeah.
you know, I could cry about something I manufacture in my life, or we could just satisfy this need and
Yeah.
pop it in and like have emotion. And then just kind of it's just like your skincare routine or whatever. And I feel like the people that I tend to feel the most comfortable with and vulnerable with are people that I know are regularly expressing their emotion.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's why we're very,
Yeah.
very close, like sister wives,
Yeah.
just married, close because, you know, we really regularly find time, you know, we're working in
Yeah.
logistics and all these things. And then we like, without even thinking about it, are constantly like checking in, like emotionally, how you doing? What's going
Sure.
on? And we'll cry together. And
Mhm.
I think that's just really beautiful that that's something that you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
embrace
definitely
now.
are somebody that creates safe spaces for people. I can just feel it. And I think that goes back to the emotional regulation with each other. Like being able to sit and have those conversations, it really boils down to like having confidence in like the safety net,
Mhm.
right? So it's such a beautiful thing. I mean, you talk about how wonderful your life is. Surely you created it to be that
Yes,
way.
I have curated
Yes.
I love
Yes.
that. Be confident in it.
it. Mhm.
Yes.
We always talk about how
Yes.
confidence, really like the etymology of confidence, boils down to
It's hard.
self-trust.
It is hard to be
Yeah.
confident.
Mhm.
It really is.
You have to keep
Until
practicing.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that you realize that it's like, I think we spend a lot of our teen years or 20s looking for how other people can show us how to be confident. And really, it is self-trust. So whatever it is you need to be able to be trusting in yourself, is that a certification? Is that doing something that you just love doing with your hands or with your voice or whatever it is?
Mhm.
You know, finding the thing that makes you like, oh, now I can trust myself. These skincare ingredients that
Mhm.
I, you know, now understand. And then suddenly you trust yourself to do your job.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, this has been an absolute pleasure, Joanna.
Yes.
You are just a joy, and I
Just a
can't wait.
beautiful
Yeah.
soul.
Thank
Honestly, I
you.
can just, it's been radiating.
Now
in
you
the
got to go get a
room.
facial
Yeah.
with her.
Yeah.
She's in demand.
Yes.
So get on her schedule. But
Yes.
thank you for being here with us today, and we can't wait to share your
Oh,
story.
thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And that's our show. If you liked what you heard today, please like, subscribe to, follow, and share Meet Bridget with your circle. The best way to help our work here is to rate and review our podcast. We're listening and constantly working to build something helpful for you. Catch you next time.